Oh, I did pronounce it right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the Christian Fiction Girl novel reviews by Nicole. ChristianFictionGirl.blog. Beautiful. Nicole Santana. This is her bio. I love Jesus, my husband, and my daughter. I love reading and reviewing Christian clean fiction. And I'm a high school English teacher trying to get kids to fall in love with reading every day. So I'm going to do her post on the book The Words We Lost by Nicole Deese. It's a Fog Harbor romance. So it's the first book in the series. The cover is really cute. 3 friends, 2 broken promises, 1 missing manuscript. Its release date was April 11, 2023, and it's contemporary romance. As a senior acquisitions editor for Fog Harbor Books in San Francisco, Ingrid Erickson has rejected many a manuscript for lack of defined conflict and dramatic irony, 2 elements her current life possesses in spades. In the months following the death of her childhood best friend and international best-selling author Cecilia Campbell, Ingrid has not only lost her ability to escape into fiction due to a rare trauma response, but she's also desperate to find the closure she's convinced will come with Cecilia's missing final manuscript. After Ingrid jeopardizes her career, she fears her future will remain irrevocably broken. But then Joel Campbell, the man who shattered her belief in happily ever afters, offers her a sealed envelope from his late cousin Cecilia, asking Joel and Ingrid to put their differences aside and retrieve a mysterious package in their coastal Washington hometown. Honoring Cecilia's last request will challenge their convictions and test their loyalties. But through it all, will Ingrid and Joel be brave enough to uncover a twice-in-a-lifetime love? All right, these are Nicole's thoughts. The Words We Lost by Nicole Deese is an excellent story that made me feel all the feels. This was one of the hardest stories I've ever read in my whole life. Not because the storyline is tedious or boring, not because the characters are flat and dull. None of that would ever be true with a Nicole Deese novel. In fact, in this story, Deese's storyline grabs the reader from page 1 and refuses to let go until the very last page has been devoured. And her characters are impeccable, as per the norm. No, this book was the hardest read of my life because I am Ingrid, and I really, really did not want to wade through my grief. You see, I have tricks to get through my day. I pretend, if you will, that my big brother, my stepfather, my best friend, and my dad aren't dead. I pretend every single second of every single day that the last 5 years hasn't wrecked me for all time and that my heart hasn't been ripped out, stomped on, and broken into tiny pieces again and again and again and again. I had a hard time reading this book because it wouldn't let me pretend. I couldn't hide my grief and my heartbreak. Instead, the story forced me to look at my grief and heartbreak and admit that I am in deep pain and probably need a little help. What I love the most about this story is the recognition that grief and loss change people permanently, that the loss of a loved one wounds a person so deeply there is no coming back. I also love how Ingrid comes to understand exactly what family means, that a best friendship can also be a real, true sisterhood, and how it transcends space and time. Just because Cece is gone from this place of existence, Earth, doesn't mean that Ingrid will never see her again and that their bond has been severed. If anything, time apart will make their bond of sisterhood grow even stronger. Even though this book was the hardest book I've ever read, it's also one of the most hopeful I've read. I am leaving this story changed for sure. I still hurt for my loved ones. I have massive, gaping holes in my heart, but I have the hope of seeing them again one day, and I look forward to that day very much. The Words We Lost is hands down a 2023 hashtag must read. This is not a book you want to miss. Be aware, though, that this is not a lighthearted, fluffy read. This story will sucker punch your heart, so make sure you have tissues by your side while you read. If you already read this amazing story, then you know what I'm talking about. Great review, Nicole. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Here is Nicole's The Christian Fiction Girl review of A River Between Us by Jocelyn Green. It's historical fiction. It was released on October 3rd, 2023, just this month. Cora May Stewart's world collapses when Sherman destroys the Georgia cotton mill where she works and has her arrested for treason and sent north. Faced with impossible choices, she does what she must to keep a little girl safe in an unhospitable land. Convinced he won't survive the war, Union Sergeant Ethan Howard determines to make his death count for something, but Cora May gives him a reason to live. Trouble is, he's just arrested her on Sherman's orders and torn her from home and family. Sergeant Howard is the last person Cora May wants to forgive, and the only man who can bring her all the way home. Nicole's thoughts. Jocelyn Green is one of the best historical romance authors ever. Every book I've read by her is masterful and poignant and endearing. A River Between Us is no exception. I devoured this story. Truly, I could not put it down. The fact that Union soldiers during the American Civil War were ordered to take Southern women and children to prison just because they were Southern and worked in mills making clothing for the Confederate soldiers is horrific to me. Actually, most of the time while I was reading this book, I was a ball of emotions. I was angry, frustrated, and concerned. Concerned, you ask? Yes, concerned. I read a lot of historical fiction, and what I have learned is that history repeats itself all the time. There's a lot of hate and distrust and mean-spiritedness in society today that feels very similar to basically every revolutionary and Civil War period that's ever happened. It bugs me big time that humans can get to a place where it's okay to behave barbarously against the poor, the vulnerable, basically all those who are different from what society approves, and the majority doesn't even bat an eye. Today, I see this behavior everywhere. It really has me worried. But God, right? And this is my favorite theme weaved throughout A River Between Us. Cora May is the heroine, and one such Southern mill worker who is forcibly taken to prison by a Union soldier simply because she is Southern. I really felt for Cora May and the other women and children who were taken from their homes, families, and everything they knew. I relate to Cora May as she gets frustrated or scared or worried about her current situation. But what I love about her is that she doesn't ever let present circumstances get her down, and she never gives up figuring out the right step to take. I also love that she takes the time to look back on her experiences and see all the ways God has acted in her life on her behalf. Cora May is a really good illustration of how we who we say we believe in God should act in scary times, because God always has a plan. I found her to be such an encouragement and a great reminder that I need to trust God no matter where he has me. A River Between Us is another home run by Jocelyn Green. This book is so good, and I truly cannot recommend it enough. If you are a fan of superb writing, excellent attention to historical detail, a sweet and endearing romance, and a story replete with timely themes, then this is the book for you. This is the Christian Fiction Girls review of A Heart Worth Stealing by Joanna Barker. This is clean Regency-era romance and a mystery. The publisher is Shadow Mountain Publishing, and its release date was May 2nd, 2023. Little Sowerby, England, 1802. Miss Genevieve Wilde, a magistrate's daughter and independent heiress, is determined to meet life's challenges all on her own, just as her late father had taught her. So when her father's pocket watch is stolen, she will do anything to get it back, especially when the local authorities prove incompetent. Upon reading an advertisement in the paper, she takes a chance and contacts a thief-taker to find the watch. It's a choice Ginny regrets when former Bow Street officer Jack Travers arrives at her doorstep. He is frustratingly flirtatious, irritatingly handsome, and entirely unpredictable, and Ginny wonders if she'll be able to resist such a man. But after Ginny discovers that the missing watch is just a small part of a larger, more frightening plot against her, she needs Jack's help more than ever. To protect her home and her reputation, the two enter into a risky charade, pretending Jack is her cousin so he can begin his investigation, starting with the household staff. As they work together to unravel the mystery, Ginny finds herself falling fast for her charismatic thief-taker, leaving her heart in just as much danger as her life. Nicole's thoughts. I have wanted to read A Heart Worth Stealing by Joanna Barker since the first time I saw its gorgeous cover. Isn't it just lovely? And the story itself is pretty excellent. My favorite aspect of the story is the mystery. It's very well done. I was all over the place trying to guess who done it, and it kept me up way past my bedtime, furiously turning pages. I really enjoyed Ginny's character. She is a wonderful heroine, determined, feisty, highly intelligent, and brave. Ginny finds herself in need of help at the beginning of this story. She is forced to take matters into her own hands after it is made clear that local powers that be won't help her. Enter Jack Travers, a former Bow Street officer. I very much enjoyed the back and forth banter between Ginny and Jack. They made me chuckle often. Jack is a perfect hero. He has a good heart, he cares about doing what is right, he is loyal and steadfast, and he's willing to do whatever necessary to keep Ginny safe. He immediately understands that Ginny needs actual help and does what he can to help her, all while good naturedly ribbing her and getting her to open up. I thoroughly enjoyed their journey to a romantic relationship. The internal struggle of both characters to keep their distance emotionally is well written. The chemistry between Ginny and Jack is palpable from their first interaction, so it was fun to follow along as they attempt to ignore their very obvious feelings towards each other in order to placate society. The whole time I kept saying to myself, who cares? You love each other and that is enough. I appreciate when a good story makes me scold it. This story also includes timely themes. I especially appreciate Ginny's perspective on loss. Something very bad happens to Ginny near the end of this story. Yes, I'm being vague on purpose. But instead of dwelling on the very bad, Ginny rolls up her sleeves and focuses on what she can do, what she can change. I love this so much. There's no whining, no complaining, just a strong woman standing up and doing whatever she can to make her situation better with the resources remaining to her. This world would be a better place if we all acted like Ginny in times of struggle. A Heart Worth Stealing is a well-written, highly engaging historical romance, plus mystery, that I highly recommend. I enjoyed my time with this story very much. Purchase yourself a copy today. You do not want to miss out on this story. I'm just gonna finish it out on that. 3 reviews, round it out. I'll probably target the genre for future videos, so you can search through my videos to the genres that are your liking, and go ahead and comment if you don't mind. Give me feedback on anything about this that you would like to see change or different in the future. I'm just going to keep making videos. I'm really just trying to develop a platform because my book comes out in September of 2024. So I really appreciate if you would like and subscribe, and it'll get my blog or my videos ranked higher. I don't really know how it works, but that's how you can support me. And I really appreciate you watching this far. All right, here's to the first sip. Let's do the big one.